Alright, it seems like it is time for a new video. Hey there guys, I got this video idea after reading the amount of comments about it. Some players tend to use the level 80 boost rather quick and feel lost and confused after they've used it. Guild Wars 2 does a fairly good job at providing a short introduction to the mechanics of the game after you used your level 80 boost, but like I mentioned in my top 5 tips for new players video, I think this might not be enough. This issue does not only apply to just Guild Wars 2, but it does also apply to other games. I actually ended up in the same situation by using a max level booster in another game, but I will talk about that later. This video will be divided into 3 segments. First, I'll discuss my view on max level boosters and the contents of the booster in Guild Wars 2. Second is how I would solve this matter. And third is what should you do if you have boosted any of your characters. As usual, you can find the timestamps for each segment in the description, and since my channel is mainly about Guild Wars 2, I will discuss this matter in the context of that game. But keep in mind that most of the things I will mention in this video do apply to other games as well. As usual, if you have a question during or after the video, don't forget to leave it in the comments, and for more Guild Wars 2 content, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a like on this video. Alright, let's have a look at this issue. Starting off with what is wrong with the booster in my opinion. Usually level 80 boosters or max level boosters are granted upon purchasing a game or expansion. By using this booster you can rush straight into the end game content after doing a small general introduction to the class and the game's mechanics. This means that you have skipped through most of the story, map completion and learning the game by just putting a few hours into it. And personally, I find learning by doing the best way and the most enjoyable way to discover and learn anything. Anyway, using the booster right away seems overwhelming for a considerable amount of newer players. From the comments I usually see under my videos, newer players seem to get lost after they use their booster. Most of the issues these newer players mention could just be solved by playing through the game once in a regular, old-fashioned way. And as with many things in life, it is about the journey, not the destination. Although I think this does sound like a little bit cliche, but let's just keep at it. Guild Wars 2 and many other games are not different in this case. And yes, I made the same mistake. It was not in Guild Wars 2, but like some of you might know, I sometimes play a bit of World of Warcraft. Back in 2017, I bought the Legion expansion and I thoroughly thought about which class I would boost to level 100. I eventually ended up using it on my Night Elf Druid. Back in 2009, I've played World of Warcraft for about 3 months on a Tauren Druid, and I felt like playing that class again. So I boosted the character, looked up a talents guide, and I started playing. And oh damn, the DPS and tanking specialization were so hard to get into. I eventually ended up healing in dungeons and raids, but I just couldn't get into the rest of the class. Now it is just sitting there, and I really lost the connection to the class. And I just don't want this to happen to any of you guys. So to sum it up, my main issue with the level 80 booster or the max level booster is that you get it right away when purchasing the game's expansions. You just get the booster without putting any effort into it. If you are wondering what the booster contains in Guild Wars 2, we'll briefly go over that. The level 80 booster in Guild Wars 2 contains a boost to level 80, some level 80 gear, and it unlocks a variety of waypoints. This allows you to quickly get around Interia, which is the world of Guild Wars 2. If you do plan on using your level 80 booster, I would use it on a character that is already level 80. This gives you all of the rewards you will usually get when using the booster, except for the levels, meaning that you can quickly get around with your new gear and the waypoints while also understanding the fundamentals of the game and your profession. You could also use the booster on a new profession which you are comfortable with whilst already having a level 80 character next to that one. Just don't use it when you've just started playing Guild Wars 2 or any other game for that matter. I'll provide a link to the contents of the booster in the description so you can read through it at your own pace. And it is easy to rant about something when you are not providing any solution, right? Well, I'm not a game developer, I'm not an expert on this matter, but I'll try to formulate some solutions. Let me start off by saying that providing the boost upon purchasing an expansion is great for marketing. People don't feel left out, they feel they can just easily catch up with the rest of the player base whilst not spending a considerable amount of time into the game. I get it, you got a busy schedule and you just want to play the end game. Well, it wouldn't be much fun if you're spending that time reading up on guides and the fundamentals of the game and your profession. Anyway, I would love to see that the boost is provided upon purchase of an expansion, but it is only usable when you already have a level 80 character. I think that this way newer players feel less confused and more engaged with the game. They can really experience the world of Guild Wars 2 for the first time, and I think this will increase the player retention. Although I have no numbers or scientific evidence to back this all up. This is just an assumption. Another thing that the developers could do is increase the threshold of using the level booster. This could be done by providing some extra warnings and extra information about using the booster. They could even remove it entirely from the expansions and just add it to the gem store, offering it at a discounted price for first-time buyers. But like I've mentioned before, I have no numbers or evidence to back these assumptions up. Neither do I have the time and resources to do a proper market or scientific research on this matter. Oh, and if you find evidence to back this all up, link it in the comments. It would be an interesting read. Usually these decisions are based on previous research. So who knows? Okay, so you've used your level 80 booster and came to this video trying to find out what to do next. No worries buddy, I'll try to help you out. So I would start off by returning to the starter area and play through the story. Meet the characters that you will encounter through the expansions and get more familiar with your profession. In between the different story instances, I would try to do some meta events and map completion. After all of that, try doing some low level fractals in Lion's Arch. And if all of this doesn't work out, put your character aside and start a new one. Don't delete your current character though. Just stall it, start fresh and pick it up later. In short, this is what I would do if I was in your situation. I actually dedicated a whole guide on what to do when you've reached level 80. So if you're interested in that, consider checking it out in the description or on my channel. A quick note that people have pointed out in the comments of my previous videos. If you have used the level 80 boost early on, you can start the Path of Fire story, do the first story instance, get the Raptor mount, and then start a new fresh character with a mount. This is because mounts are account wide, meaning that any character on your account can use it. This is actually a smart thing to do if you are really eager to level up quickly. But beware, the first instance might spoil some important details of the story. I have warned you. I think this basically sums up everything I wanted to say on this matter. If you still have questions, which I would completely understand, provide them in the comments. I'll try to help you out the best way I possibly could. If you want to help out my channel, consider subscribing, leaving a like on this video and share this video with your guildies. Anyway, I really hope this video helped you in any way, shape or form. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.